What is going on, everyone? Is we're back again with an interview. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Braves. This team over the last couple of seasons has been very successful as we take a look at these last couple of seasons. I want to bring this back since 2018, since they've kind of been this good squad that's been winning the East every single season. You can obviously see they've been one of the best teams. I mean, they haven't had much postseason success in 18-19. They go in the new decade. They start to play pretty well. Obviously, win that World Series in 2021. Had an absolute phenomenal performance against the Astros. The last couple of seasons, they've lost to the Phillies twice now in the NLDS. So not really the best. And they've also won over 100 games the last two seasons, which is also insanely impressive. I feel like that gets overshadowed though, just because they've lost in the playoffs so many times. But yeah, 104 win season last year. Ronald Acuna was the MVP of the regular season, and unfortunately just fell to Philly. Just can't really beat them in Philadelphia at all. And that's why this team is kind of like, they kind of remind me of the old Braves from back in the day when they used to win the East all the time. They won a World Series and lost like 5, I think, and always got destroyed in the playoffs. Yes, those teams were really successful, but like when you look at those teams at whole, it doesn't really seem like that much of a success just because they've got beat so many times when they could have won so much more. And then we're kind of seeing a similar thing with that one World Series in 2021. It's very hard to go back to back nowadays. We've seen this with multiple teams and multiple rosters, and it hasn't happened since what, 2000, I think, with that Yankee squad. So it's definitely been a while since we've seen a team do that, but they've been trying to do that, and they've been putting a lot of money into this team. And I really do think 2024 could be their year to really get this done, just because I want to look at these contracts, because on paper this team is really solid. They also made a couple moves to try to improve this squad as well, where the Phillies didn't make a ton of moves. That is going to improve that squad, so maybe they got a shot to beat them in the postseason. So let's start off with all the guys on contract. There is a lot of them on this team. So starting off, we have Austin Riley on that mega contract. He just got signed in 2023. Matt Olson still on that mega contract as well that he signed in 2022. When Chris Sale got traded over here, he's going to be here for 2024, and he's got the vesting option for 25. Acuna is probably going to be a Brave for life, but by what he said at least in spring training, that he wants to sign here forever. We still have control of Spencer Strider, Sean Murphy, Michael Harris, Ozuna for a little bit. And as we go down the list, Raisel Iglesias, David Fletcher, Charlie Morton, Ozzy Albies, Lopez, Jamin's Bummer, Travis d'Arnaud, Arcia, and then Mazik are all on contract. So a ton of players right here that are all on contract, and these are all really good contracts for the Braves. I mean, you look at all of them and you see all of them are team options pretty much. If you look at it, like, they really like the team options, which I think is really smart, and I think the GM has done a great job of this. Alex Alpathost, or however you say his last name, he's built this team for a long time success, and with all the team options, the massive contracts, so he's doing a great job, but the team is just not winning in the postseason, which is kind of not his fault. And then these are all the guys in arbitration. Not a ton of players in arbitration. The big free agent is Max Fried though, so that's a big one, and AJ Mincher. If you look at those two guys at least in arbitration right now, Max Fried will definitely get a lot of shouts from a lot of teams in the offseason, so definitely gonna have an interesting one. But a lot of the young players over here are gonna be in this arbitration. I mean, Bryce Elder's been pretty good for this team. Taking a look at this financial situation, I'm pretty sure this is final too. They obviously have a lot of these buyouts they had to go through, but they had $207.9 million coming into the squad. Once the arbitration deals and all that stuff goes through, it's gonna be about $233 million team. So I expect this team to be good. I expect them to be back in the playoffs. I hope they win, because they've been getting absolutely destroyed, and you like to see this team win again. But it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with 2024. I mean, they're gonna be good. They're gonna win. It just comes down to that playoff series. That's all it really comes down to for me. So let's look at the top 100 now. They have 2 players currently in the MLB top 100 for prospects. So let's start off with the first player right here. Coming in at number 69, we have AJ Smith-Shawver. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He played with the Atlanta Braves this season. He obviously had a 4.26 ERA, which is not the best in 25 innings. Had 20 strikeouts. Not the best 2023 season for him. We're going to see if he bounced back in 2024. But overall, not the best with the Braves, but he had a great career in the minors. His 2023, he had a 2.76 ERA in 62 innings. So pretty good overall in the minors, so I get why they called him up. Definitely going to have a good 2024 season, I think. And that's his ETA technically was 2024. So probably going to be one of their best pitchers, hopefully, out of that bullpen if he's able to come back. Coming in at number 90 is Houston Woprep. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a right-handed pitcher currently in AAA. He was drafted in 2023. He was the first-round pick for the Atlanta Braves at 24. His ETA is 2024. Obviously, he's a relief pitcher, really early ETA, but if we take a look at his stats, I mean, you can kind of see why. He's actually been really good in the minor leagues. He pitched 29 innings, had a 1.53 ERA, and was really solid. Didn't even give up a run in AAA when he was there for his innings, and 41 strikeouts in those 29 innings. So really good overall from this kid. Very excited to see how he does in this season. I imagine he would start in AAA, and then they'll bring him up. They're gonna bring him up throughout the year, I would imagine, but we're gonna wait and see. We'll see how he does in spring training. So he's gonna be interesting to watch. Obviously, the Braves' first-round pick is gonna be playing in 2024, which is pretty insane to think about. So those are the 2 prospects they have. No hitters in this one. I mean, they don't really need them, but just a couple pitching prospects to pretty much help them out. And I don't think we need to even look at this active roster. I think you guys know know who's on this team. They just have such a stacked roster at this point. I mean, if you're not watching the Braves baseball, I mean, they're a very fun team to watch. I definitely like watching the squad. The big question to me, do they choke in the postseason again? I don't really know. My prediction for this squad is they're obviously going to win that division. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious at this point. They've been winning the division since 2018, so 6 straight seasons. I do think the Dodgers are going to have more wins than them, though, so I do have them second seed in the postseason, which if they get a second seed, which means they probably wouldn't have to play the Phillies if they get the 4th or 5th spot, which might actually benefit the Braves. So the Phillies would have to get 6th if the Braves are the second seed, just knowing by how the bracket works, because the 3rd and the 6th teams, in my case, the Central winner probably in this season would have to play the 6th seed, which is the 3rd wildcard team. So if the Phillies are the 3rd wildcard team, then they would have to play them again. But if they're the second team, they might be good. It might have a better shot to win if they don't have to play them. So, maybe they'll go for that. We'll see what happens this season. But if the Braves do get that situation, they would be very lucky not to play them, I think. At least in the 5-game series format. But that's my thoughts on the Braves. What do you guys think about this team moving forward? Where do you have them in your bracket, predictions, all that good stuff? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.